Hi, today I want to do a product review on these awesome Pebeo Prism Fantasy paints. I'd been eyeing this up for a while but hadn't been able to justify the price until I was at Michael's the other day and saw they were on sale, and with a coupon was able to snag a kit for 11 bucks. Here is my favorite. It is turquoise. It's really awesome, but I'm incredibly biased. The second color is cinnamon. It's a very light color for something named cinnamon, but it's very pretty and reminds me almost like of a rose goldish color. This next one's called Moonstone, and it looks almost like an antique silver or pewter. And then we have antique gold, which is not showing up on the film very well. It's a little bit darker than what's showing here, but it's still pretty light. This one's onyx, and maybe this one's closer to a pewter color. It's kind of like silver, but it's got some warmth to it. This one I'm totally gonna butcher the name, so I'm sorry. It's called Pearl Violine. It's basically lavender. And this one's Eggshell White. It's pretty much like a warm pearly color. And this one is Emerald Green. Like most of the colors, they're pretty light and most of them have like a gold shimmer to them, which means they go together really well. This one is definitely another one of my favorites. It's called Marina, and it's like a deep grayish purple with some green flecks in it. The next two colors look pretty similar on the film at least. This is English Red. It is not as orange as it looks here. It's a little bit more red tinted. And this one is more orange. This one's Vermilion. And last but definitely not least is Buttercup, which is basically just a very bright gold. Since these paints are oil-based, you have to clean the brushes with mineral spirits, which I'd rather not mess with. So here you see a bunch of bamboo skewers. They're just the ones that you can get from the grocery store. I cut them into smaller pieces, and I would recommend doing this with extreme caution because I definitely accidentally maybe flew a few across the room, good 6 feet, hit my girlfriend. So just be sure to watch what you're doing. And I decided to test the paints by making some necklaces. These are just some basic bezels. You can get them at Michael's um, jewelry supply stores, Amazon. Be sure to shake the paint. I am fast forwarding here because I am stirring a lot. And don't worry, I will not show this for every color. I will cut it out, but please know that I definitely did stir them. And the way these paints work is they're supposed to kind of mix and mingle and repel each other. And you don't actually have a lot of control over them. So basically, what you're going to see me doing is drizzling, drizzling colors and playing with them. But please know the ending result is not going to look anything like this. On to pendant number 2. I decided to make 5 of these. Here's the color palette for this one. I wanted to get a chance to use as many of the colors as I could. Doop de doop de doo, drizzle paint faster. This has obviously been sped up a lot. And here's a close-up of the start of it. You can see it's still shifting just by tilting it a little bit to fill the little gaps. This next step you'll see me do with the marbling is not necessary. It was just making me nervous to have little big drops there. You'll see in some later pendants that I left the drops so we can compare effects. This is the color palette for pendant number 3. One of the things I wound up learning, oops, see this mess. You can clean it up with a paper towel, no big. One of the things I wound up learning was that contrast is king with this stuff. You'll see this finished pendant in particular is very subtle compared to the other ones. I think there was a part of me that was afraid it was going to turn into mud. So I tried to pick colors that went together. Which, of course, meant that I had to experiment and choose two colors that, if they were to blend together, would look actually like mud. So here is some purple and some emerald. I decided it needed a little bit more, so I added the orange. So pretty. It won't look like that when it's done. I mean, it'll be pretty, but... And for this last pendant, I decided to do a mixed metal theme with the very silvery looking color and the gold. And I got a little lazy and decided to just tilt it around to fill in the gaps there. It's really fun to watch, just shift. The whole process while it's drying is just really amazing. This is after 30 minutes. You see it's starting to get a honeycomb effect. Looks nothing like it did when it first went down. So shiny. And now basically what you're going to see is all the pendants after 30 minutes, which is when the instructions said that it should like cure on the outside and stop shifting, but mine didn't do that for significantly longer. They are supposed to take 72 hours to completely cure. And this is not something I said before, but these paints love to run. So that's why I used the bezels, because they have got like a little edge and lip around them to stop the paint from pouring off. So you're going to have a really hard time if you try to use these on vertical surfaces. Also, as hard as it is not to mess with it and try to control what it's doing, you need to just let it do its thing. If you touch it, it's kind of like nail polish and you're going to leave your thumbprint all over it. What you're seeing now are the necklaces after 24 hours. They've finally stopped doing their thing. I didn't actually catch how long before they stopped shifting. They're very kind of transparent and thin, so you can see the kind of geometric pattern that was at the back of my bezels. I could have prevented this by using something with a smoother back, but I honestly like the little geometric pattern showing through, and I'll probably continue to use these bezels in the future. This video has been voiced over, but I kind of wish I had recorded volume when I did this because there was a lot of oh my godding, and this is so amazing. And I have every intention of playing more with these in the future. I got 2 other sets from Pebeo, so there will be videos for those too, and to see how they mix together. So be sure to subscribe so you can see when those videos come out. And also, if you're interested in any of these necklaces, they're all for sale on my website listed above. I will also include the website in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you get a chance to experiment with these paints because they're pretty awesome stuff.